All right, so my name's Bruce. Today we have Steve Alsbrooks, and this is something I've been wanting to do a long time, and I'm kind of calling it a conversation with a cop. So this is someone who has some extensive experience in the police force, and just with what's going on now today with the police brutality, there's a lot of heated conversation, and I always felt like as a person with a military background and kind of some understanding of tactics and escalation and de-escalation, I always wanted to ask a police officer some questions about what we should do when we find ourselves in these situations, especially as black people, when we've seen a lot of footage where there seems to be a disparity in how police officers handle black people versus people who aren't. So, Steve, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background as a police officer?
Sure. I'm a retired DC Metropolitan Police officer. I was on the department for 25 years. I retired in 2011. So I started in 1986 in the academy. I retired in 2011. And from 2011 until 2013, I didn't work at all. Started working again in 2013 with the DC Public Library Police, and I left there 2016. And 2016, I picked up with um, the United States Tax Court. I actually worked through a contractor uh, through United States Tax Court. So
Okay.
basically, that's it.
Okay. So 25 years experience. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
When I tell people that, I'm retired from the Marines, they always tell me thank you. So I'm going to say the same to you. As a black man, when I see some of the footage that ends in too often the death of someone, a black, usually a black male, but in some cases a female as well, who we later find out is unarmed. I think myself and a lot of people ask themselves a bunch of what if questions. What if I find myself in this situation, that situation, or the other? So the first area I wanted to look at was citizens arrest, situations where people who aren't police officers, but through some authority or perceived authority, feel like they have the right to uh, kind of confront and detain a person under the duress of gunpoint. And so we have Trayvon Martin was the poster child for that for a while with I think George Zimmerman, who tracked him down and killed him. And then the most recent one is Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. So I know that varies from state to state, but can you speak about what you know in terms of citizens being able to impose themselves, and what rights do we have as far as self defense in that kind of situation?
Well, in case of a citizen's arrest, usually, first of all, those are generally speaking old statutes that's on the book that allows somebody to make a citizen's arrest. Is very old. It's normally not done, especially in major urban areas. Those are not generally done, but they're generally, this is a general answer. That they're generally speaking because let's say, for instance, if someone attempted to rob a bank and you had enough individuals or someone there that was able to stop the suspect and get him arrested, it is really for things like that,
Okay.
arrests that are serious ones, not for just petty, he stole from a store and he's running out. Now we're catching him trying to be the police. It's not really for that.
When it comes to self defense, say you have a concealed carry or something like that, what can you do to defend yourself in that situation?
So the only thing that I could say to that is because, like you said, from state to state, it differs, and from it appears the further south you go in the United States, the laws are more, I would say, for the lack of a better term, a little bit more loose than they are the further north you go. So, like, you know, in DC, you have to have a permit to carry a weapon. And most cases, it's difficult to get one in DC,
Yeah.
like New York, especially, you know, in the city areas. And down south is a little bit more easier to get them.
But like say in Virginia, you can carry open, you can carry concealed, a lot of things. And in the event that someone does that and you defend yourself with deadly force, and the police come on the scene, how do you handle that, right? And I'm gonna share something with you. When I have a concealed carry permit, and I did a lot of research on all of that stuff, and I learned about concealed carry insurance. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
So, in on this card, it tells you in the event that you have to use your weapon, it tells you what to do when you call 911. Like, I was attacked, I fear for my life, and I had to defend myself. Please send both police and an ambulance to this location.
Mm-hmm.
Is that realistic in the event that you're attacked, you shoot someone, and you do this? What should you do when you wait for the police? You know, when you have a smoking gun in your hand, how does that work? Do you think the police would see you as a threat on scene when they show up? How would that, you know?
Well, they probably would, at least until they secured your weapon.
Okay.
And so basically, what I would say the best thing in that case is to secure your weapon back into your holster and comply with the police officer's orders. Because what's going to happen? They're going to get on the scene, and even though you called the police, they're not going to know that you are the one who called the police. So one of the things that I would suggest, if you did that, you tell them your, like, what you have on, your height, weight, what have you. This, I'm the one that's calling the police, and be very specific in saying that it's me that's calling the police. So if you look at the Trayvon Martin shooting, and you look at the one that was in Arbery in Georgia, right? And so they have laws there that are so loose. Like Florida, they have the stand your ground laws. So what if it was Trayvon Martin saying, I was standing my ground and I pulled my weapon out and I shot him?
Right.
See what I'm saying? And so it's so loose, it could go either way. Now, the way the law is set up, even though Zimmerman was the aggressor and Trayvon fought back like he should have, because he don't know who's attacking him and why.
Exactly.
But clearly, if there's evidence that this person was attacking you and you were in fear of your life and you are licensed to protect yourself, to do so. Because the bottom line, no doubt about it, is that I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to protect myself also. We'll deal with the other part later on.
Okay. That makes sense. And really touched on what I was trying to get at is, you know, I couldn't put it any better. If it would have been the reverse and Trayvon was old, up age and legally armed and stood his ground, how would that have played out? But I feel like a lot of black people feel like even if we check all those boxes, a lot of times we feel as if we still may end up behind bars. So it seems as though for us in that regard is especially good for us to kind of know the law and to know those tactics. Like I'll reiterate this before we move on to the next section. I like where you said make it very clear that you are the victim, you're the person on the scene who had to defend yourself, whether it's describing yourself to the 911 operator, flagging somehow the officers when they get to the scene, and also making sure that if you had to use your weapon, that you put it back into the holster and you're not standing there, you know, with a weapon. Because I get it. It would be hard for police to know who's who in that situation.
Can I say this real quick on that? Just so you and your audience will know, when a police officer gets a call, okay, you guys, citizens will call into the dispatcher. The dispatcher gets all the information. It doesn't always get out to the police officer who has what's going on. So when the police officer's coming up, the adrenaline is coming. You know, I know it's a person there with a gun. It's been a shooting. So all of a sudden, they're there and their spidey senses are going off because I know I got someone here with a gun and I know a shooting has occurred, but I may not know exactly what the individual looked like or what actually transpired. So as much information as you can give them, better.
Okay, just curious. When the police get those calls, do you guys ask if you know a weapon has been fired and that you know it's potential danger on the scene? Do you guys also ask the operator or whoever's sending you that way, the dispatcher or whomever? Do you guys ask them for more information if you feel like they're not giving you enough, or do you just get the location, go to the scene, and figure it out when you get there?
Now, usually in those cases, the dispatchers are generally speaking, very professional, and they give you as they know it's better for them to give as much information as they can, but they can only give what they receive. Sometimes they may not have received enough information for you to feel comfortable. And and you're in transit to the location and you have your siren on and what have you. So you get the noise and the adrenaline and everything going on. So sometimes it doesn't always come across like that because, you know, when you get a call like that, you have to get there safely, but you have to get there.